Hi, friends. Have you ever noticed that in some industries, one company seems to control everything, while in others, a handful of big players dominate? And in some cases, there are countless small sellers competing side by side? This isn't random. It's how markets are structured. From your electricity provider to your favorite smartphone brand, different industries operate under different levels of competition. In this video, we're going to explore one of the most important concepts in economics: monopoly versus oligopoly versus perfect competition. And once you understand this, you'll start seeing the economy in a completely new way. To begin with, a market structure simply describes how a market is organized, how many firms are operating, how much control they have over pricing, and how intense the competition is. These three structures, monopoly, oligopoly, and perfect competition, represent different points on a spectrum of market power. At one extreme, a single firm dominates. At the other, no firm has any control at all. Let's start with a monopoly. A monopoly exists when a single company controls the entire market, leaving no room for competitors. This firm becomes a price maker, meaning it can set prices largely at its own discretion. Real-world examples are often found in essential services. For instance, many countries have a single electricity distribution company in a region. In tech history, Microsoft once held a near monopoly in the PC operating system market, with Windows controlling over 90% of global market share in the early 2000s. The key characteristics of a monopoly include high barriers to entry, lack of substitutes, and complete market dominance. While monopolies can ensure stability and large-scale infrastructure, they often lead to higher prices and less innovation if left unchecked. That's why governments impose regulations and antitrust laws to prevent abuse of power. Moving along the spectrum, we reach oligopoly, a much more common structure in today's global economy. In an oligopoly, a few large firms dominate the market, and each one's decisions directly impact the others. A perfect example is the smartphone industry, where companies like Apple and Samsung lead the market. As of recent global data, these two companies alone account for roughly 40 to 50% of worldwide smartphone shipments, showing how concentrated the market is. Another strong example is the soft drink industry, dominated by Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. Oligopolies are characterized by high barriers to entry, strong brand identity, and strategic behavior. Firms often engage in heavy advertising and may even silently coordinate prices, leading to what economists call price rigidity. While competition exists, it's limited, and this can sometimes reduce price wars but also restrict consumer choice. Finally, at the other end of the spectrum, we have perfect competition, the most competitive and in many ways ideal market structure. In this scenario, there are countless buyers and sellers, all offering identical products. No single firm has the power to influence the market price. Instead, prices are determined purely by supply and demand. Agricultural markets come closest to this model. For example, thousands of farmers sell wheat or rice in open markets, and no single farmer can dictate the price. The characteristics here include free entry and exit, perfect information, and homogeneous products. The result is maximum efficiency and fair pricing, but it also means firms operate on very thin profit margins. While perfect competition is rare in its pure form, it serves as a benchmark for evaluating real-world markets. As we compare these market structures, a clear pattern emerges. Monopoly has one firm with full control, oligopoly involves a few firms sharing power, and perfect competition has many firms with no control over prices. As competition increases, consumer benefits rise while individual firm power declines. In the real world, most industries fall between oligopoly and monopolistic competition, with sectors like technology, automobiles, and airlines dominated by a few major players. Overall, monopoly means maximum control. Oligopoly reflects strategic competition, and perfect competition represents maximum competition. Understanding these concepts helps us better analyze markets, pricing, and real world economic behavior. That was all for today. Thank you for your time.